inviting both LSU and Iowa to the White House. In a tweet, the explanation reads, the First Lady loved watching the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game alongside young student athletes, and she admires how far women have advanced in sports since the passing of Title IX. Her comments in Colorado were intended to applaud the historic game and all women athletes. She looks forward to celebrating the LSU Tigers on their championship win at the White House. So much drama over this yesterday. Shannon, what's your reaction to this explanation?
Yeah, look, they saw the firestorm that she created, that she didn't have to create, and they quickly walked it back. They had no choice. They had no choice. This was not a joke. This was not something that, I just wanted to show Title IX. Because this is what she said. I know we'll have the champions come to the White House. We always do. So I hope LSU will come. But you know what I'm going to tell Joe? I think Iowa should come too because they played such a good game. Winners and losers. That's sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. When have you ever invited losers to the White House, Miss Biden? And people say, well, Shannon, she's not. Her husband, Joe Biden, President Biden, has been in politics damn near 50 years. Yep. She's been close proximity to him for damn near as long.
Bingo.
So if she's not a politician, yep, your husband is, and you know how this works. Yep. You know the optics of it. Yep. So you mean to tell me an all-black team won, you're going to invite them. They beat an all-white team.
Starters. Yeah.
All white, they got any black players on Iowa?
There's one. and I think there's one white player on LSU, but go ahead.
I think that's Kim Mulkey's daughter or cousin or something. I'm just joking.
Right.
But Skip, so she understands. Skip, I'm not going to insult Dr. Biden's intelligence.
I know.
But as a career first lady of a politician,
yeah,
he was a senator, he was VP, now he's president. So you're in close proximity. You read, you hear, you listen. You know the optics, and for you to, that's sportsmanship. Skip, this wasn't even the best women's national championship game.
Yeah.
Ever. They've been better games.
Sure.
So what, you gonna invite TCU? After they got slaughtered by Georgia, hey, y'all come, that was good play. Y'all could have hung.
You guys fought hard.
Yeah. That ain't how this works, Dr. Biden.
Yeah.
And so she saw the storm. They saw the storm. I don't know if she realized it until they probably, when she got to a seat, Dr. Biden, you probably should have said that. You open up a can of worms with that one. And so they had to walk this back. Yeah. But you see President Biden, how quickly? Yeah, I can't wait to have UConn and LSU. He ain't mentioned nothing about anything else. So what you going to do? If you going to invite San Diego State to come along too, Skip? No, you can't do that.
No.
She was wrong. And she should have never uttered that because the optics of it, because they lost, the predominantly white team lost. Yeah. That's sportsmanship?
Yeah.
Skip, there's a reason why you keep score. There's a reason, because you want to know who the winners are.
Shannon, it was 102-85.
Yeah, we talking about sportsmanship.
That's a 17-point win.
So
Great game.
What was so good about that game, Skip? I mean, I think it was a couple of years ago, Notre Dame player hit 2 buzzer beaters, one in the semifinals and one in the finals. Okay, ain't nobody mentioned nothing about that. So the question I have for Dr. Biden, if Iowa had won, and it was a very close ball game, you inviting LSU?
You already know the answer to this.
Okay.
Yes, you do. All right, my turn. Jill Biden obviously meant well, and that's the problem.
Yes.
To me, in my point of view, from this side of the table, this was a classic example of naive white racism. Unintentional, unwitting racism.
Right.
Oh, I didn't mean that. You just don't get it. Right. You're not seeing the forest for the trees. You're lost because you've never really gotten it. And LSU deserved to win the game. They won it going away.
Yes.
Caitlin Clark spoke yesterday on SportsCenter and just went on and on about how she had absolutely no problem with what Angel Reese did, and she thought it was very unfair that she'd receive any flack over it.
Right.
She took the highest of high roads because it's from her heart, and she said we all compete, and we expected there's going to be some trash talk because that's what we love about playing basketball. The women's game is arriving right there with the men's game. If these were guys going back and forth, nobody would think much about it, right? It happens if it's an NBA game and they're going back and forth, and it's Patrick Beverly and Russell Westbrook. Who cares? Or do a white player, throw a white player.
Skip, when have you known in the history of women's college basketball for people to be commenting about women's college basketball 2-3 days later after the game has been played?
Beautiful, man.
So little did she know, maybe Dr. Biden actually helped the women's the women's game.
She poured gasoline on that raging Twitter fire.
But we're talking about it. But we're talking about it for all the wrong reasons.
I got it. So she didn't exactly walk it back as in, oh, I apologize for what I said. She just amended her previous statement and omitted, I want Iowa to come.
Right.
She said, I look forward to LSU coming to the White House. Or her press secretary said that. Okay, we get it. That's fine. That's what our president said also. She just stuck foot in mouth. And it comes across, even though she didn't mean to, like, oh, poor Caitlin Clark. She got shamed. She got taunted by that Angel Reese. I feel so sorry for Caitlin. Let's bring her to the White House, too. Stop it.
Right.
No, she didn't feel shamed at all. She was fine with it. Now, she said, what was her quote? I got it here somewhere from Caitlin. She said, I'd like to come to the White House under different circumstances. Remember, she's got a year left, which she's going to have to play college basketball because she's not eligible to get drafted yet. So she will be back. I don't know exactly how good their team will be, but I'm pretty sure she's going to be really good next year. And if she gets the chance, she would like to close a deal where she'd get to go to the White House for all the reasons, correct? That's what she said yesterday, and that's the only way to fly.
Yeah, because winners go to the White House.
Yeah.
Especially as a team. You know, Skip, when you, like I said, you celebrate, I think, in spring, all the champion teams, they come and all of them get acknowledged. How's that going to look, Skip? All the champions are here, and then you got Iowa over there.
Yeah.
So what people, all the teams that won, the national championship teams that won, they look at Iowa like, how y'all get here? What'd y'all do? And then it sends a bad message that, you know what, just play the game. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It does matter. You keep score. Life is about winning.
Well, I'm pretty sure Iowa, if actually invited, would have said thanks, but no thanks. Because if she, 22, had anything to do with it, she'd just say there's no, we don't deserve to go.
Yeah, that's LSU's moment.
Yeah.
Because you know if Iowa goes, Skip, it's going to overshadow LSU. Yeah. Because everybody's going to be talking about, well, Iowa's here. Why is Iowa here when they lost to LSU?
You want to talk about uncomfortable? Iowa would be extremely uncomfortable.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get a head start on the Iowa caucus. I don't know what they thought was going to come of this. But clearly, Skip, as a career politician, she's not a politician, but as a career first lady, I mean, Skip, I remember President Biden, he was Senator Biden, Skip, back in the 80s. Hell, in the late 70s, he was a senator, early 80s. I definitely remember him. Yeah. Because I remember how he was not very nice to Anita. But that's neither here nor there. Right. That's neither here nor there, Skip. But I'm just saying, she's been right next to this man for a long, long time. It's just like, well, Ernestine didn't know, how TV and media work. Bull jive. She's been next to Skip for 15, 20 years. She knows exactly how to.
On 20.
Okay, so she knows.
And she is media savvy.
Yes. So Dr. Biden is politically savvy.
That is correct. She is very savvy.
She knows that she was appealing to a side of America
she did.
that doesn't have a very favorable eye to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, President Biden, he was going to enact policies that was going to help Black America, that he was going to help Black women. You see, on the Supreme Court, he's the first. Got a Black female up there. You look at a lot of these federal judges that he's been appointing. There are a lot of Black females. Yeah. We give him credit for that. But Dr. Biden, you got to be careful. Now, just remember, all these people that's up in Atlanta who flipped Atlanta for you. You remember what happened in Pennsylvania? Hey, don't forget now. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. We got you to the dance. We did this.
You did do this. Well said. Last quick thought on Caitlin Clark. She did speak yesterday on ESPN. And I see two things operating in her. One of your favorite players, if not the favorite when you were growing up, was Larry Bird.
Yes.
She's not nearly the size of Larry Bird because he was 6'9". She's only 6 feet tall.
Right. But that's still pretty tall for a female, Skip.
Pretty tall, but there are a lot of 6'5" women now.
Yeah, 6'6", But they ain't hailing and shooting the ball like she is.
Okay. I see some Larry Bird in her makeup because she's got some edge to her. And again, against Louisville in the regional final, she got into it and was going back and forth. And she said, you're down 15, shut up.
Right.
Okay, well, that's Larry Bird talking.
Right.
Like it's that arrogance, that disdain in a good way for, you, not you. You can't.
And Skip, you see, I mean, the women, it's like, look, we want to be and you see Angel Reese, when she get what she do.
Yeah.
You do love her.
Okay.
And how many times have you seen the women do the Steph Curry?
Okay, good.
Or they get an and one and they pose in two. I got no problem with it.
It's arriving.
Yes.
They are arriving.
Let them have their moment.
Okay. Then the other thing I saw from her yesterday is she's got some, I'm just saying a little, Brady in her, because she's got kind of a split personality, because I see the edge on the field.
Right.
And she doesn't go crazy like Brady does and wear it on her sleeve quite like that. But in these interviews, she goes into player speak and she uses cliches like, the game was super, super fun to play.
Right.
Well, isn't that kind of Brady-esque? Isn't that like lame cliches? Right?
She's been very schooled, Skip.
She has. She's been well taught.
Yeah, and how to speak, and don't say anything inflammatory.
No.
Just, hey, let's deal in cliches. Get out of this interview in 5 minutes.
Get out.
And when she said a whole lot, and it said absolutely like, what is nothing.
Nothing. She said a whole lot of nothing, but she did take the highest of high roads.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And I believe she spoke from her heart. She said she loves Angel Reese's game. How can you not?
Right.
Game respects game.
Correct.
They respected her. Monkey told her at the end of in the handshake line, "You're a generational talent."
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure she is. I think we saw it on full display against South Carolina and against LSU.
I mean, in the women's game, I mean, there had been a whole lot of college men, to my recollection, that have had back-to-back 40-point games in the tournament. She went back-to-back 40-point games. One of them was a triple-double. Mm-hmm. I mean, she was a one-man. She was a one-man band. I mean, it's the closest thing. She's the closest thing, because normally when they got teams, she had a Cheryl Swoops. I don't know if you remember Cheryl Swoops at Texas Tech. Well, I think she hit 48 in the championship game.
Yep.
That was the closest thing, because she's a one-man band. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not to take away from the other guys.
I got it.
But she's the engine.
Yep. No.
And she's the everything else that goes along with it.
Yep.
So without her, but she was sensational. But she didn't deserve to go. They don't deserve to go to the White House because she was sensational.
And she's the first to say, no, we don't deserve.
Guys, as a former college athlete, I sure hope what doesn't get lost in this conversation is the fact that this game had tremendous ratings, up 103% from last year's championship, 9.9 million compared to 11.2 million for the men's final.
Wow.
I hope they can use this as a springboard and keep the momentum going for the popularity that's rising for female athletes in all their games.
Well said.
All right, is tonight the most important game of the year for the Lakers and the Clippers getting back to the NBA? Skip and Shannon dive in when we come back.